Welcome to the Crazy Drake Podcast Show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your main man, aka Crazy Crockett, aka Andrews Podcast. Today, folks, we got to talk about Detroit Tigers. They made the playoffs barely. Without Jamal Jones, I don't know what they would have done. But, folks, Tigers are back in the playoffs. It's not the same team as last year. They came in pretty hot in the beginning of the year. By July, soon after the All-Star weekend, they started to sink. Uh, Clearly, the indication is going to be the starting five pitchers. Tarik Skubal, Jack Flaherty, and Casey Mize are the three. Um, the Detroit Tigers tried trade for some guys. We got Charlie Morton, that's no longer on the team. He's been dismissed. Uh, Chris Paddock has been demoted to the bullpen. He did finish the season with a start against Boston. But saying that, folks, I knew this from the time they started to lose Reese Olson and Jackson Jobe, that they were using the bullpen way too much. Some people think that Detroit Tigers were not aggressive enough for a starting pitcher. But I think with the Detroit Tigers organization, with the Ilitch family and the GM and AJ Hinge and the rest of the team, I think that they were thinking about the long haul, not just the short run. I know that I think that they didn't want to give up the prospects, for any other uh, potential starter on the team. Some people think that Justin Verlander would have came back and went about Detroit should have got him to come back, but I'm not really sure if that would have worked out. A different era, different team, different atmosphere. Uh, two big powerhouses of Tarik Skubal, Justin Verlander is the old timer, and Tarik Skubal, the new kid on the block. Uh, I'm not really sure the chemistry of the team would have been that great. There's been a lot of stories about Justin Verlander that I've heard of that he's not always the best teammate. He's a great pitcher, a great guy on the field at the time in the moment, but I don't know if he would have been a great teammate for this era. A young team, a spunky young team. Uh, but let's look at something that we need to look at. The first game is done tomorrow. Detroit Tigers versus Cleveland, and in Cleveland, Tarik Skubal on the road is 4-5 with 2.30 ERA, 108 strikeouts on the road, and against Gavin Williams is 7-2, 3.0 ERA with 104 strikeouts at home. However, this is a little concern again with Tarik Skubal. He has not been given the right amount of run support. It is going to be important for Detroit Tigers to support him right away, to keep Skubal in the game as long as they can, so that they can hold on to the bullpen as long as they hope for. I think that Tarik Skubal is going to have to go uh, at least for 6, 7 innings just to make things more comfortable. Uh, Giving up home runs may be an issue for Detroit, but Tarik Skubal, he's had a couple bad starts against Cleveland. Last start at Cleveland, he lost the game, or the game was lost 5-2. He pitched 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Uh, Not something that you want to see when you don't get no run support with him on the field at all, or when he's not, or when you go to the bullpen. In this, at the second game at home, Detroit against Cleveland, Skubal was pitching 6 innings, 1 earned run, one run, 7 hits, one. He gave up 1 home run, 2 balls, and 9 strikeouts. So if you're looking for him to strike guys out in a parlay, yeah, you want to do that. The ironic thing about the last start that he had beyond the Cleveland matchups was Miami. Miami, he went only three in one inning. Pitt, four hits, four runs, one earned run, two home runs, zero walks, but two strikeouts. He only lasted a third and one. It, it's three innings, one third. Um, Miami, quick note by Miami, which is amazing, is that the the New York Mets did not make the playoffs, and they just kind of washed up. I really don't know why. It could be for a lot of other reasons. I think that a lot of the biggest thing about the Mets is that they have a lot of money. They spend a lot of money. Juan Soto obviously was signed with the New York Mets for 15 years, making a kaboom amount of money, and the team doesn't make the playoffs. Uh, so this is something that with baseball, it doesn't matter how much money you pay somebody. It really matters about the timing and the right moment and the right time. Uh, Going into the game, with Detroit Tigers winning against Boston to clinch a wild card or playoff spot. Uh, AJ Hinch did talk about how it's a new season. And you're in the playoffs, 0-0, nothing matters. The records don't match up. But you know what, folks? Yes, Detroit had a pretty good run for against the what do you call it, against Cleveland. I'm losing my track of mind right now, but Cleveland has had our number for a while. And against Tarik Skubal, I think they're not afraid of him. I think they'll be going after pitches right away. Anything that he throws down the middle, I think they're going to be swinging hard. And they have nothing to lose if they strike out to Skubal. I mean, if they lose, I mean, if Cleveland strikes out 14 times and then they win the game, they don't care. But it's just about putting the guys on base and getting the guys not to be left on base for Detroit. Detroit will, I think with the guys that are hot as Jamon Jones, I think you have to have him in there. I think that uh, even I would even um, go with Baez as maybe not a 7-8 hitter, but maybe put him up a little bit. Uh, Keep Green on three. Uh, Turk uh, Torgerson at the cleanup. But I really think that uh, Kerry Carpenter and Patrick Meadows need to have a big series. But I think that even with those two guys, Patrick Meadows and uh, and um, and Kerry Carpenter, I think they have to let the game come to them. So I don't want them to always try to hit a home run, especially especially about Carpenter. He is a very energetic guy. He is almost the key point to that team when he comes back from IR, IL, injury list, whatever. But it seems like the team follows his suit. So when he does well, the rest of the team does well. But I think that if he puts a lot of pressure on himself, that could, drag the team as well. But I think that even Andy Ibanez, you know, one thing about AJ Hinge is he knows how to sub guys in there. So moments come. I think that Detroit's going to have to score right away. I think Detroit's going to have to uh, be that team that uh, doesn't light up. So if they get a run in the third or a run in the second, they need to add those runs up. They need to keep the rally going. I don't know if they can just turn it on like they did last year, going in the seventh, eighth inning, and then trying to come back like they did last year. I think this is a different team than last year because now everyone's coming at them, and now they have to prove to everyone else. They did uh, prove the press wrong. The press thought that Detroit was going to be third in their division, and because of last year, they thought that it was a cute little story. They traded a lot of their players, uh, and then Detroit started taking off. I really think that the bullpen's going to have a lot of rest. I think if you have to, I don't know if this is going to be a good series for Jack Flaherty. I don't know if I would start Casey Mize at the second game and then give up the chance of uh, sending out Jack Flaherty for the third game for if it's a 1-1 series, or do you go with Casey Mize in the second game? If Detroit Tigers win game one, you obviously want to. I would go with Casey Mize. I think he's much more of a. Uh, he seems more equipped for that moment. I know that some people think that Jack Flaherty can come off very arrogant, very kind of off a little bit. But I really do think that Jack Flaherty, to me, is more the guy that is high sensitive. He is very in tune with his feelings, maybe too much in his feelings. He, after a walk or two, or just for a walk, it doesn't matter what inning it is, he seems to really get down on himself. He's the type of player, the type of pitcher that every start that he makes, he's going to have to be talked up. He's going to have to be told that everything's going to be okay. You're our number two or our number three, depending on the series between the Cleveland and series in Cleveland. But I really think that uh, Jack's going to have to go in there and really pitch a good game. And I really think that can be a possibility for that. The second thing I would do with bullpen is probably if Jack can only go 4 innings against Cleveland, I would put Chris Paddock in that situation. So he'll come in the fourth and the fifth and maybe the sixth inning. Now I'm going to tell you this is why. Paddock is a starter. If the score is 1-2 Cleveland, 1-2 Detroit, and Jack Flaherty is not feeling it, I would very much put Paddocks in there to save the bullpen, to save the rest of those guys in the bullpen for game three and beyond. So I think that's something that Detroit is going to have to do. Uh, AJ Hinge is going to have to figure out who's going to be the number two and three pitcher. If Detroit wins game one, do you just go with Jack and maybe hope for Casey Mize to uh, help to close the series out and win the series in game three? Or if Detroit wins, do you go with Casey Mize? Then you start over again, but then you have to go to Seattle, and then Jack starts the rotation. That's something you have to think about. So um, I think going on from that, I think we got to give out the props to Rayleigh, the Seattle Mariners catcher, Cal Rayleigh, uh, for breaking a home run record for a catcher. He broke Salvador Perez record in 2021, I think. Cal hit 60 home runs, switch hitter. Uh, he's amongst a group of hitters like Babe Ruth, Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle, even the newest Yankee, Aaron Judge. Obviously, you guys know Mark McGuire, and and Sammy Sosa and Barry Bonds did it. But if Cal Rayleigh does not win the MVP, I don't know who else should. And I think that he does deserve it. I don't know why. I think Cal Rayleigh really deserves it. I think that for someone that won the home run derby, made a fun moment out of it, came back from round one, almost lost it, won it only by a couple of inches, centimeters against the opponent that had the same amount of feet that he did, but he won only by a couple of centimeters, inches. So I think this is something that is pretty awesome. You got Cal Rayleigh, uh, the Seattle Mariners have a bye week or uh, bye games, and they have to wait for Detroit and Cleveland. I think that uh, that Detroit may be a better. Detroit might, in my opinion, Detroit will make a worse matchup for Seattle just because of what happened in the beginning of the year. I think that um, remember Seattle kind of destroyed Detroit before the All Star weekend. So this is going to be some, and I think when you go into that series, if Detroit goes into that series, it's it's all about revenge. So going from that, I think that Detroit has a good chance. I don't know if they had a better chance in the beginning. I do think that Detroit will be a better team next year. Reese Olson will be back. Um, Jackson Jobe and other prospects will be coming up in the bullpen, along with starting pitcher. I think that another challenge that you're going to have to look at is if you're going to keep Gleyber Torres on the team. He did sign only 1 year contract with Detroit, so I think that that's something that you have to think about. And for a last note, before I leave, folks, I want to know the interview that the broadcaster had with Detroit Tigers when they won the wild card um, invitation. Uh, if Tarik Skubal or Spencer Torkelson, who drank the most beer that night? That's what I want to know. I want to be told who did it. So if you enjoy this podcast, follow Patreon. I'm on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you download your podcast. Come and find me. I'm here. Let's go Detroit. Let's steal game number one and take number two, obviously, and win the series. And then go to Seattle and do our thing.